You're now tuning into
The Cover Gang.
What is going on, Cover Gang? It is NFL Week 15. Only 4 more weeks in the regular season. If you haven't already watched our recap video, Justin done a phenomenal coming off his 4-8-1. He went 10-4-1. So wrote the ship after that bad performance on both of our parts last week. I went 8-6-1, 3-1 in double unit plays. Profitable week. Can't complain. We have already made our Thursday night pick. Me and Justin differed. I took the Raiders. He took the Chargers. A little bit of a snooze fest for a Thursday night game, but we got a good weekend of football. There's 3 games on Saturday that we're going to go over in this episode, and we're also going to go over all the games in the 1 o'clock slate as well. Justin will read off each spread, each game. We'll tell you who we're taking and how much we're putting on each one.
Yeah, I think on the recap, I was like, I feel pretty good about the Monday night games. I think we go 1-1, sitting on both dogs. But nope,
2-0.
we went 2-0, and they both won outright. Yeah, like I luckily bet the Titans live money line at like plus 1100. It was a lucky bet. Just they were down a touchdown with 6 minutes to go, and I was like, I mean, they've been playing them hard all day. Like it's not really out of reach. So plus 1100 doesn't make sense to me. And they ended up coming back after going down 2 touchdowns. I thought it was burnt, but. Yeah, like I didn't expect. I thought the Giants might upset outright, but I did not expect the Titans. Not at all.
I don't think anybody did, but that just shows how much of a difference of Team Miami is when Tyreek's not on the field.
Yeah, exactly. They got a real problem when Tyreek is not making the defense just completely adjust everything for him. But let's get right into it. First up, we got the Vikings at the Bengals. This was one I mentioned on the recap. I liked it at 4, liked it at 3.5. Sharps have come in and grabbed that. It is now down to 3. Some pretty juicy reverse line movement in this one because on some public sources right now, it's like 70% of the bets coming in on the favorite Bengals. But yet that line just keeps ticking down towards the Viking side. So I feel like I nailed that one pretty good. I mean, in real life, I bet it twice, so I do have a double unit on it, but I don't know if you want me to have a regular unit for the contest, plus 3.5 or what, but I mean, technically...
No, if you want a double unit, the 3.5 you called on the recap, that's fine.
Technically, I bet it at 4, and then I bet it again, same one regular unit, again at plus 3.5, so I would just say double unit on me on the contest for 3.5, but I would still take it at plus 3, but I would do a regular unit. But yeah.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm on a regular unit on the Minnesota side. Yeah, weird game because Minnesota coming off that 3-0 win last 2 minutes of the game. Very boring game to watch in Las Vegas, but everybody's going to be coming in on the Bengals right here. Understandably so. Jake Browning, he's completing over 70% of his passes in the past 2 weeks. They're full of weapons. They're at home. Who knows who's playing quarterback for the Vikings. And then Justin Jefferson, right when I get him back in my fantasy lineup, he plays like a quarter and a half and gets hurt again. Good throw, Josh Dobbs. Appreciate it. But yes, I'm fading it. You got to. I'll take Vikings plus 3. I think it's going to end up being a close game. I could see it even being high scoring. Minnesota coming off a 3-0 loss. I could see this being a higher scoring game. But it's just a regular unit play for me. I missed the best of the number. I probably should have jumped on that 3.5 with you.
Yeah, it's definitely a fade the Bengals spot. They've had some really lucky things go their way. I mean, yeah, Jake Browning's playing his tail off right now. Like you said, he's completing an insane amount of passes in his first few games. I think I saw a stat that said that it was the highest completion percentage of a new quarterback starting games in the first 3 games since like 1950. So, I mean, it's just a fade spot. I mean, there's no way that this guy keeps it up probably, so... Yeah, I like the Vikings plus 3.5 pretty good right here. All right, next up on the Saturday slate, we got the Steelers at the Colts. So the Colts finally got caught last week against the Bengals. I thought it was a great spot to fade them last week. I'm going back to the wheel. I still think the Colts have been one of the luckiest teams this year against the spread and straight up. A lot of one-score games, a lot of overtime victories. I just think that... there was worry that TJ Watt wasn't going to be at this one, so I bet it at plus 2.5. But now, as of recording, it has made its way down. I think 1.5 or 2 is the best. Let's see, what can I get?
1.5 is the best. It's across all books.
So yeah, they're pretty much saying probably that either Highsmith, T.J. Watt, both of them, one of them. I'm hoping T.J. Watt plays in this one because that really is the difference maker for the Steelers as underdogs. But yeah, I'm gonna fade the Colts here again. I think the public's coming in on the Colts. Expects them to bounce back at home, but I'm just take the Steelers as dogs when everyone's counting them out, and I hope T.J. Watt plays in this one. But it's a regular unit for me.
It is Trubisky at quarterback.
Yeah.
Kenny Pickett's not playing.
I'm pretty sure it's Biscuits. I don't know. Let me look.
Yeah, look that up real quick.
It does matter. I mean, he's really pretty bad, but
Actually, no, it doesn't matter too much. I'll take Colts -1.5 here. I understand Mike Tomlin, defensive coach, underdog. He always pulls through in these spots. They're coming off rest. T.J. Watt is playing, but Gardner Minshew and Shane Steichen play way better at home. It's came down a little too much for me at -1.5. At 3, I get more of the argument, but yeah, I think
it's Trubisky.
And this is a battle for the AFC wildcard spot. Colts lost last week, so did Pittsburgh. They're both 7-6, so very important game for both sides. I do think Tomlin will have that defense up to play, but I'm leaning on the offensive-minded coach here, and I just don't think that Trubisky and this offense can get it together against worse than average Colts defense. I still don't think they'll put up a whole lot of points. So, as I always say when I go against the Steelers, I'm just hoping that T.J. Watt doesn't cause a fumble or a pick or something that ends up as a touchdown.
This will be you in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I just can't. But I can't back. I can't back the Steelers offense with Trubisky or Pickett. Honestly, even if he was cleared to play, I wouldn't back it. So, give me Colts at home. Pivotal game for playoff. For both playoff hopes, and I'll take Shane Steichen and Gardner Minshew.
Yeah.
Regular unit.
I guess I was saying the Colts were really lucky, but I mean, you could argue Steelers have been one of the luckiest teams all year as well. So it's like the battle of the luck teams, but they both got really good coaching, so maybe that's part of why they're lucky. But yeah. So we split on that one. Next up, and last in the Saturday slate, we got the Broncos at the Lions. This is a tough one. Denver's likely to be a public dog somewhat, with the Lions just reeling in this big number, how well the Denver Broncos have been playing. I could see the public coming a little bit more on the Broncos side on this one, but situationally, this is supposed to be a get-right spot for the Lions and a letdown for the Broncos. So even though this number is huge, it's came down. It's swung in between 4 and 5, and I think right now it's back down to 4. So I'll listen to the Sharps and the wise guys take the Lions -4 because apparently that's the spot I'm supposed to take the Lions right here is do or die. I don't love it, though, because I'm fading the Broncos again, and I've tried to do that 3 weeks in a row now and missed every single time. So it feels like if I take Denver right here, then I'll just finally get burned by backing them. So it's like it's kind of like I'm dying on the hill trying to fade them and figure out where it's at. But yeah.
I'm hoping you miss 4 straight because I'm on Denver +4.5. Yeah, you could have got the number at 5 earlier today, but no, I still think Lions is the public side. They have shown, they lost bad to the Bears last week, but it's like Broncos. People were like, if Justin Herbert didn't get hurt, maybe they would have lost. They got a freebie, whatever. I still just don't think Vegas is caught up to how smooth Sean Payton has his team playing, defense and offensive side of the ball. They're good at running the ball. They're good at the defense has really gotten better, and they just think that a lot of people think that the turnover thing will come to the mean. But I watched that game last week against the Chargers in the first quarter. When Justin Herbert was still up and healthy, and it's like every time they get around the ball, it's like old Champ Bailey or something, like just trying to rip the ball out. All these guys, they swarm, and then they are trying to knock the ball out. So I think that I'm getting the better coach team. The Lions probably are better on paper, but to give up 4.5, I know Jared Goff plays better at home. I just can't do it. I think this is a game, and it just passes too many key numbers for me, passing the 3.5, and 4. So I'm gonna put a unit and a half on Denver plus 4.5.
I don't blame you. Just keep riding that Denver train. I think I've been trying to fade them, and you've kind of steadily held your ground with them, and it's paid off the past few weeks. So I don't blame you going back to the well here. But yeah, it's a tough one because it's like the line is set to where I think a lot of the value in taking the lines is kind of sucked out. It's a good number for the Denver Broncos, and they can cover it, especially the way the lines are failing right now. But I'm just hoping Dan Campbell gets them right for this one, I guess, because I'm taking the sharps I'm going with the sharps on it because I haven't seen any sharp sources take Broncos at all, and they're saying it's a get right spot. So whatever. I feel that way about a later game in the late slate, and I'm listening to that as well because past few weeks when I try to fade some of the sharps, I get burned. So I'm just like, all right, we'll see what they're cooking up with that one. But yeah, it's just a regular unit for me. Next up, and first on the 1 o'clock slate, we got the Bears at the Browns. So the number was at 3.5. It's bit down, but there's still a couple 3.5s out there with some juice at -115. I like the Bears here in the plus 3.5. Browns have been good at home, but it's Joe Flacco, and they just had a really good win against the Jaguars. They're coming off a win in the cover, which if that extra point was taken, they probably don't cover the 3.5. So I just like how this Bears defense has been playing ever since the Montez Sweat acquisition. They actually look like a steady pass rush. They actually are pressuring the quarterback. And that offense, I think at this point, is just a better offense than the Browns. So I think these teams are a lot closer than most people would imagine. And I just think that there's value in the 3.5. I like it at a unit and a half because the way this Bears, even though it feels a little public or a little easy to take the Bears, I still think, like you said, I don't think the books have caught up or people have caught up to actually this Bears team is somewhat legit if they keep playing like they have been.
Yeah, I'm against you here too. I'm going to take Browns -3. I think that I probably wash on this game and maybe you win. I see it as a 17-14 type game, maybe a 21-17 goes my way. I don't see it being high scoring. Bears defense has played a lot better, especially against the run, and that's what the Browns are going to try to establish at home. But the Browns defense does such a good job, especially at home against mobile quarterbacks. Apparently there's supposed to be some weather in this game, so both teams are going to try to run the ball. This Browns defense, I don't think they played their best ball last week, and Bears are on a little bit of a hot streak here. Am I betting on Joe Flacco? No, I'm betting on that this Browns defense is legit, and they look more like they did at the beginning of the year. I seen some stat earlier. It's like it's through this many weeks, the team that they're like third in the past 15 years as far as yards per game, and the other two teams went to it was the Seahawks one year when they lost the Super Bowl, and then it was the Jets one year when they lost in the AFC Championship. So they and that still counts in all the times that they played on the road and given up a lot of points and a lot of yards, it seems. So this defense is very legit, and I just don't. Justin Fields, yeah, he's been catching rhythm. DJ Moore, whatever. But who have the Bears really played? Like, they played the Lions twice, but the Lions have been banged up and reeling, and I don't know. I think this Bears stretch is a little fraudulent, and the Browns are a legitimate contender. So I'm gonna swallow the 3 points. And like I said, I could see me washing in this one, but I really don't see the Bears winning this game. So I'm gonna take Browns.
I don't blame you for it. I mean, down at 3, there's an argument for the Browns for sure. So not really fighting you on that one. It's not a bad choice.
It's just a regular unit play because, like I said, I do feel like it could be a wash. Vegas set this line pretty good.
All right, next up, we got the Falcons at the Panthers, two of the worst covering teams in football this year and in the worst division in football by far. It's been pretty hard to bet for or against the Panthers. I mean, you never know when they're actually going to be a sharp bet because their lines are always so enticing, but they don't.
All year, it would have been good just to bet against them.
Yeah, exactly. But it just doesn't. It would be taking, road favorites minus 4.5 or 3. It's that's been betting against them. It's
You want to
hard.
do it at the same time? Let's do it because we're both. I think we're both on the same side here. Just
Yeah, take hold
do
your
it with me.
hold your nose. This is the spot. You take the Panthers. They always play the Falcons hard. We've seen it time and time again, especially last year. The Panthers play the Falcons hard. They're super familiar with each other. I would like it a lot at 3.5. That is not there anymore. Sharp's got the 3.5. It is only threes across the board. So it's definitely a regular unit play for me because this game is still important for the Falcons to keep their playoffs hopes alive. And I mean, it's the Panthers I'm backing here. I mean, you try to be sharp with this team, and they just still you're catching the falling knife. It just cuts right through your hand. This team they don't cover when they're supposed to. So for that reason, regular unit plus 3 Panthers for me.
Yeah, it's a half unit because I can't stand betting on the Panthers. I hate it so much every time. But it's the sharp side. I mean, you got to take the home divisional dog, even though they look horrible on the offensive side of the ball. But Desmond Ritter, he does not play nowhere near as well on the road compared to at home. Obviously, everybody and their mom is coming in on the Falcons here. They're like, what, 3 points is all I'm having to give the Panthers.
Right.
So I'm gonna fade the public. I am taking it. It's a half unit game just because I said it's the one team that I feel like it's probably burned me the most. Maybe them and the 49ers. I keep trying to catch that fallen knife on the 49ers. Maybe it happens this week, but yeah, I can't bring myself to put more than a half unit on Panthers. Only catching 3 at home. So but watch them win it outright. It's just football.
They do that against the Falcons, man. They just all of a sudden show up and just control the game with a run heavy. But like that's the thing that worries me. Last year I called it in a really sharp spot against the Falcons, but this year it's just different. They really don't have a great run game, and they're worse with Bryce Young, and the defense is just not as good as it was last year. So it's like I don't know.
No, I think the defense is pretty solid. Like if you watch that Saints, if you look at the score, it was 28-6, and you're like, oh, they got pummeled. No, the Panthers actually should have probably won that game. They had so many chances to get back in it. I mean, it was just they were probably if you look at the luck rankings, they were probably the unluckiest team last week. So I do think Panthers are able to run the ball. I think the defense is good. I think it's a divisional, where it's a divisional game. It comes down to the end. So I'll ride with the dogs.
Half unit though, half unit for you. I'll just take
Half unit.
I'll take a regular unit, but yeah, I don't love it. All right, next up we got the Jets at the Dolphins. This line was at plus 12 before the Monday Night Football game, and then it dropped to 10.5 before the game even started. So the Sharps thought that was too high before they even see the Dolphins play the Titans. Then, obviously, after that upset, the line's going to drop a little bit more. It comes all the way down to 8.5 on most books. It seems obvious to take the Jets. I think the public is taking... I think the Jets are going to be one of the larger public dogs of the week.
Yep.
You and I talked about the tough slate of games that the Dolphins team has coming up. They're not a shoe-in to win the division right now. The Bills' remaining schedule after the Cowboys is pretty easy. And the Dolphins, they actually have a really tough road. So this is a game where they know they're potentially in trouble, and they have to smash. And they do it. They do it at home, and they do it against the Jets specifically. They always blow out the Jets. And they were just laying 9.5 on the road the other week at the Jets. And now we're getting a discount on this Dolphins team at home because they get upset. It's all the way down to 8.5 at home. So they were laying 9.5 on the road on that Black Friday game. So yeah, it's a whole point and it's at home. I just like them to blow out the Jets right here. I think it's a sneaky play, and I like it at 1.5 because I don't see the Jets doing what they did. So that's my take on this one.
I wanted to double unit this one, but 2 reasons I'm only putting 1.5 instead is Tyreek is not cleared to play yet.
Right.
He did roll that ankle, so I think that he will play. He's tough. Whatever, they'll shoot his ankle up with whatever right before the game. And you mentioned that Black Friday game that was Boyle instead of Zach Wilson here, and the Dolphins are coming off a short week playing on the Monday night.
Is Zach worth? I mean, he's worth like a point.
Zach
He's
just
not
is like,
worth that much.
I don't know, man. He goes out there against the Texans and throws for 300 yards. He just,
He's bipolar.
Yeah, he really is. But I'm picking that. It's a unit half play for me as well. I think the Dolphins route them here. I think they know that they have a tough schedule coming up. They're not overlooking this game. They're like, we need to strut our stuff in this one, and then going into the last 3 weeks, they play Cowboys, Ravens, and then the Bills. So, so with that gauntlet at the end of the year, they know that it's time to. Everybody needs to kind of get in order, offense and defensive side of the ball. So yeah, it's a unit and a half play for me as well. I'll take the Fins minus 8.5.
All right, we're in agreement there. Next up, we got the Texans at the Titans. Now this was the Sharps line movement of the week. They bet the Titans all the way at like +1, and now it's all the way down to -3. I just don't love this game because it's a wait and see kind of game where the line is indicating that CJ Stroud is probably not going to play, but it's almost like they're not giving you the hook or maybe 4 points because they're not sure he could still play. And these concussion protocols, they've been head fakes most of the time. It seems like 80% of the time someone goes into concussion protocol and the line is waiting on news. It seems like they end up playing every time, and it's like you're just wasting your time not betting it. So I'll take the value in the Texans +3. They're just coming off of a loss. They're good as underdogs. It is a divisional game. I like the Dogs in divisional game. I really hope it's not Davis Mills because he is the reason they wanted CJ Stroud, and they were horrible as a team last year, and it's obvious that CJ is the reason that they're actually a decent team now. So you really need CJ to get healthy in this one, but yeah, I mean, if you want to wait and see, I don't mind it at all, but just take the value at this point. If I have to pick it, I'm taking Texans +3.
Yeah, if I have to pick it right now, I am too. But what stings is even if CJ Stroud gets cleared, Tank Dell's gone, Dalton Schultz is gone,
Nico Collins is questionable.
He's banged up.
Yeah,
so if it ends up being Davis Mills and CJ doesn't clear, and then you have on the other side, the Titans are really good at home compared to on the road.
You're right. Yep.
And they're coming off an emotional win. I think a little bit of a letdown spot, but two defensive coaches here. I will take the dog where I'm getting 3 points, and I probably will go ahead and bet it now and just hope that CJ gets cleared. I'll put a little bit on it now, but I just can't. I can't put more than a half a unit without knowing if I'm getting Davis Mills.
I didn't say what I didn't love this game either. I didn't say what my unit size was, but it is a half unit. It's the only half unit I got this week because it's just you can't really tell what's going on here.
You can't. Yeah, we're recording on Wednesdays, so we just don't know. But if CJ gets cleared to play, I'm gonna go ahead and put some on the 3.
We're looking
but
good.
Even then, yeah, but even then, I just don't know how he can will this team because that was the story. Is like they have a decent run game, and then he has Dale, Collins, and Schultz to throw the ball to, and he's lost all 3.
Yeah, but who are those receivers without him? That's the real. We would not know their names without him.
Yeah, but maybe we'll learn some new names this weekend if he plays. Maybe
they're gonna need to. Yeah, they're gonna have somebody to throw the ball to. All right, well, we're aligned on that one. Half unit. That's 2 in a row. We did the same unit size and the same side of the spread. So we'll see how we are in this next one. We got the Giants at the Saints. This is my take on this. It's another game where it feels simple or easy to take the Giants +6. I mean, that number is just huge. I think the value in the number is the Giants, but I really want to fade Tommy DeVito on the road and a desperate Saints team to take hold of that division. Giants, I looked on a public source. Giants are getting like 70% of the spread bets. Not usually a good sign is backing a public road dog. So I hit this number at, I was watching it because I liked it at 6, but I wanted to see what happened. So Tuesday morning, I opened my app and it was at 4.5. I bet it at 4.5, and I checked back in a few hours, and it's already back up to 6. So in my eyes, like the books, they were like, whoa, like look, like we really don't want people to bet the Saints down here at 4.5. Like they see extreme value because I mean, if you're gonna set it at that and then jump it as soon as in an hour or two, as soon as you set it there, they obviously we're trying to trap people on Giants plus 4.5, and no one took the bait. So that's what I'd see that as. Like someone hit the minus 4.5 on the Saints really hard, and they're like, whoa, they don't want that. So I don't know. I think the books clearly want you to bet the Giants here, so I'll play the Saints minus 6 at a regular unit because if it were 4.5, it's a double unit, but it's minus 6, and it's the Saints. They're not a good covering team this year, so. But I kind of have I was telling you off the air, but I think the Saints are going to clean up their act, and they're going to start covering a little bit right here at the end of the stretch. So I like them to blow out the Giants right here. Regular unit.
Yeah, no, this Saints team's not that good.
They're not.
Just really not. Even though they won, and that's what I think the perception is, they won 28-6, and they think that it's a ticking time bomb on this Tommy DeVito guy. Yeah, I understand you looked at the one sports book, and it's, everybody's coming in on the Giants, whatever. But no, I like the Giants plus 6 here. It's who is Dennis Allen in this offense, even this defense, the way they've been playing this year, to give up 6 points to a guy that just upset the Packers? I mean, he's doing his thing right here. He at least keeps it close. And if it's close, I think the mob wins. The Italians win.
He's got a lot of hype right now. Usually you're a contrarian and you like to fade America, but right now you're backing America's public darling right now.
Well, no, I'm backing the Italians. I just don't. It's the Saints more than the Giants.
This is going to be
I watched them play the Panthers. It's that they can't. They're not good at stopping the run. Their receiving core is banged up. The defense is still banged up in multiple places. And Dennis Allen versus Brian Daboll, I just can't give up 6 points. There's nothing in me that can do that.
I respect that. You said the right thing right there. You said it's not the Giants, it's the Saints. I feel that because I don't really like taking Saints minus 6. That's why I did a regular unit.
But I tried to call it. I said, going down the stretch, I think the Packers will be the team, and then the Giants upset them, but will be the team that kind of catches fire that nobody expects. And you're kind of calling the Saints to do the same thing right now, saying that
I think they clean up their act and cover. I don't know if they're. I agree with you.
You just said that you think that they're going to turn around and win the division.
Yeah. No, I do think that. Yeah, I think they're a bad team, and I think that they're the worst team that makes the playoffs. That's just what I mean. I agree with the coaching.
Which is bad. Easy in the NFC South, but I'm just saying, like you're the one. You're saying that they're going to catch fire, rattle off some games here at the end, and make it in.
I just think they regress to the mean with covering. Like they're going to cover a little bit here. They're one of the worst covering teams right now this year. They're not that bad. Like they're a bad team, but Vegas must have set some weird numbers on them. I don't know.
I don't like it because I could see it being a little bit of a public dog, even though Saints just won 28-6.
You're gonna regret this one. I can already feel it. Like
it's the 4.5 to 6 that got me. At 4.5, I'm like, okay,
that's interesting.
I can see it. But where it went to 6, they bought it back up
instantly.
I agree with it. But I think 6 is the number. So,
yeah. They feel a lot better at that number. They do because it was sitting there before, and then the game.
Right. I'll put a regular unit plus 6. I think I'm getting, like I said, I think I'm getting the better coach. I think I'm getting the hotter team, and I think I'm getting a team that's already looking for a head coach next year. Maybe Bill Belichick.
You're definitely getting the hotter team. There's no doubt. I don't blame you at all. The ones we've disagreed on, man, it's like it's pretty close. It's pulling hairs at this point. Like it's pretty close on the ones we disagree on. So I don't hate it at all. Like I respect the plus 6.
Yep.
All right. Next up, we got the Bucks at the Packers. So I was scared that this would go down to 3. And I don't think it did. I think it did for a second maybe, but then it's back up to 3.5 with some juice on some.
Don't do it.
You're talking about don't take the Bucks right here.
Don't do it.
If they didn't get upset, the Packers, would you say the same thing? Like if they just rout the Giants, you wouldn't say that, would you?
I think it would have moved up, and then there would be more value.
Dude, I've been so bad on this Bucks team.
3.5, and 4 number is key. So I think it would have maybe moved up to 4.5 if Packers took care of business.
If you talk me into taking the Packers right now, I'm telling you, you better be right because
In Lambeau, you're Jordan Love
Oh
versus
my
Baker
God.
Mayfield. You're getting getting the better quarterback. You're getting an offensive coach that just came off an embarrassing loss on primetime Monday Night Football to an Italian mobster. The
Dude.
Bucks, yeah, they beat Atlanta on the road, but Atlanta is
I'm not taking it because of that. I've just been so wrong on this Bucks team, and it just seems like value. I knew the Packers would regress some, and it felt like 3.5 was good. But then after the upset, it's kind of like the line didn't move much. And it's like, I don't love this game. Like, I'll be honest. I thought it would have been
I
really
just think
sharp.
Bucks beat up on like mediocre teams, and I think that the Packers are above mediocre. I just think that they had a little bit of a fault against the Giants there. Watson should come back. Aaron Jones should come back. They rested him, overlooking the Giants. I know it's a little bit of a
Watson's
short
coming
week,
back.
but yeah,
To me, that's the biggest factor, really.
yeah. Jordan Love's going to have some more weapons. I can look it up real
Man,
quick just to make sure.
yeah, let me look at this. Oh my God, don't tell me I'm taking the Packers. I really have sucked at taking the Bucks though. Like that's the thing. So like I don't know. I don't love it. I don't love taking the Bucks. Can we get a -3 out there? There's a -3, but it's juiced like -120.
Oh yeah, Packers -3, double unit play.
Double unit? No way, bro. I'll take them with you though. I'll take them with you. But you look, I think we've had a few of these where I'm just like, I'll let you make the decision, and I think we've lost. I think we've lost the last couple times. I think we've lost the couple times when we've done this. But yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm taking Packers -3. I don't love it with the Bucks because I just have not been able to predict their games this year at all. But all right, regular unit though. I'm not double unit that. That's crazy talk.
All right, Packers -3, double unit.
All right, next up, we got the Chiefs at the Patriots. So the Chiefs are really pissed. They're talking about the call of offsides should have been called before the play started or something like that. Blah, blah, blah. They're just complaining. It was offsides. They've been calling it more this year, so it is what it is. But there's rumors that Belichick might not be in Foxborough in the building next year, which I think doesn't really surprise anyone. But I was a little bit worried about this game before we got on here, but then I see that the line finally moved in the direction I was thinking because I thought the Patriots +9.5 just seemed way too high with this Chiefs team that's just not been running away with games. And the Patriots with Bailey Zappi and a run-heavy offense with Ezekiel Elliott, I mean, it looked decent. Obviously, they were playing the Steelers, but the Chiefs just haven't been able to dominate offensively versus anyone. And I thought that number was huge. I loved it at +9.5. Probably was going to double unit. I might still. Is it 8? Is there an 8.5?
Yeah. Yep.
All right. Yeah, I'll double unit this one at 8.5. Line, like I said, line finally moved in the way I was expecting because it was sitting at 9.5 like all week up until about a few hours ago, and I was like, no sharps come in and buying that number. Like it just seemed a little worrisome, but yeah, I'll take Patriots +8.5 at a double unit. Where are you at on this one?
I'm with you. I am taking Pats +8.5. It's a regular unit play for me. Bailey Zappi, yeah, he looked all right for the most part in that game against the Steelers. They're coming off a little bit of extra rest, but I think this is more Belichick has gotten pretty much confirmation from Robert Kraft that they're moving on off of him after they lost to the Colts a couple weeks ago at the end of the year. They're going to start some new regime in New England, and I just think he kind of
was that the Germany game? Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. But
yeah,
dude, I literally knew it was that game because the camera panned over at him, and he just said the F word. He was like, and just like right, because I think he knew like that was it, and it really felt like based on what was happening in that drive, like it just felt like he was on the chopping block right there, and I was almost expecting him to be fired, like announced right after that game, because the way it just, the way he looked,
do that. They wouldn't do that, to
right?
Bill, though.
Because he's a
legend. He'll be at the end of the year, and then he'll go. It's rumored. Let me ask you this: so they are going to move on from him, but Bill will still coach football. Where does he go?
What's an organization that's going to let him like be the daddy and just like what's an organization that loves defensive minded coaches?
I don't even think it's the second part I don't think
You
matters.
don't think it matters
as much.
Well, let's name all the teams that are like open for this potentially to happen. Because like I feel like I'm not.
No, you just get one. You just get.
Wait,
one
I'm not
guess.
even.
Just think about
Would think of a bunch of teams that I could have this. Like I don't.
Washington, Chicago, Buffalo. If they don't make the playoffs, Robert Sala's on the hot seat. You got Vegas and Chargers. NFC South. Then you got Saints, maybe Falcons, Panthers, and Bucks.
I could see. He's not gonna do the Raiders, is he? The Saints, maybe like one of those two. I don't know. You gotta read on this because I feel like I'm coming up with nothing.
I think he takes his talents down to Florida.
Really?
He does what Brady does.
Really? Todd Bowles?
Yeah.
Move out the way?
Yeah, I think they fire Todd Bowles and get Bill Belichick in there. Because they moved off a lot of pieces and stuff, and they have a lot of open cap space. If I'm correct on the Packers game, Bucks end up with a top 10 pick potentially. They can draft like a Michael Penix or something, and they already have some good defensive players in place.
I mean, they're
not a winning organization.
The retirement state of the country. So hey, maybe he wants to go where it's warm.
And it's the weakest division in football. So I think that he can scheme up against the Derek Carr, Bryce Young, and whoever the Falcons end up with quarterback next year, and he passes Don Shula down in Tampa.
So he doesn't care that he's following Tom Brady's footsteps? Like that wouldn't bother him any?
He won't win a Super Bowl with the Bucks like Brady did, but I think that he passes Don Shula's record. But that's just my take on it. But anyways, back to the game.
Yeah.
I do like it as I'll double unit. No,
what the?
I can't. Patrick Mahomes being mad, not having stuff figured out, going to Foxborough. As just I could see him putting up 24, and then can New England put up 14?
Big question.
I don't know. That's a good question, right? So, I'm gonna leave it at he's a regular unit play. I'm not going to double down with you.
All right. Well, that's it for the Saturday games and the 1 o'clock slate, the early games. We ran a little long, but we had some good discussions in this one. Make sure to tune into the primetime games where we're going to dial it in and see where we land on the rest of these Week 15 games. Like the video if you've been enjoying the content. Subscribe for more content. Thanks for tuning in. And as always, let's cover the spread. Peace.